Good afternoon from a lovely sunny Wirral. It's warm again. A little bit of rain this morning, but it's nice now. Uh, just been going through the property news over the last couple of days, and I've come across three articles that are loosely sort of connected. And you'll see why I think they're loosely connected as I go along, hopefully. So the first one is from the Negotiator, so all credit to them. It's their article, not mine. I'm just commenting on it and using it in combination with the other articles to produce this video for you. So it says that the title is Estate Agents Overvaluing Properties Claim Mortgage Brokers. And what it says is research reveals 71% of mortgage brokers doubt estate agents' valuations, appraisals, and expect down valuations to surge. So for those of you not familiar with that sort of terminology, your estate agent will put a property on the market for such and such a price. Obviously, they're working for the vendor, so the price is, say it's X. Well, the mortgage brokers are saying we think it's actually less than X. It's more likely Y or Z or whatever. They think it's less, and lenders will down value if they feel the appraisals aren't correct. So it's not the mortgage brokers doing the down valuation, it's the lenders. So, but the mortgage brokers are saying they expect the down valuations to surge because of this research. Now, mortgage brokers are losing confidence in estate agency valuations of properties, with 71% believing the market appraisals fail to accurately represent values that will survive a mortgage lender scrutiny, which is what I was talking about before. So remember what a mortgage lender scrutiny is. If you don't know, they look at sold house prices within that area. And this is a very, very brief overview of what they do. And it's obviously far more complex than that. They look at similar properties sold within the last 6 months to a year, depending on how quickly the land registry updates details. And we usually do it within quarter-mile radius, and they're looking at those, and that will give them it allows them to gauge what they feel is the correct value. So research from countrywide surveying services shows 29% of brokers trust current agent valuations. Well, yeah, obviously if 71 don't. Rebecca Freeman, director of field operations at the firm, says findings reveal significant gaps in how the market approaches property valuations. As a result, 41% of brokers are anticipating an increase in appeal volumes. And JLM Mortgage Services Director Sebastian Murphy agrees, telling Mortgage Solutions what certainly in 2024 was a trickle has now become a flood, with around 20% of all our cases, both purchase and remortgage, subject to down valuation from the surveyor. So the lender employs the surveyor goes around and surveys the property. He also looks at the current market values around, sold house prices around, the rent that you're going to expect out of it, it's a rental property, and that all goes into the evaluation of that property. So down valuations are a major source of frustration for estate agents. They can derail transactions weeks into the progress, with buyers typically demanding vendors reduce their asking prices to match the mortgage lender's lower valuation, which can easily result in the sale falling through, and it does. Analysis by EXP shows a fall through cost estate agents £1 billion last year, with an estimated 296,204 transactions collapsing. That's over 250,000 transactions collapsing, at an average cost of $3,419 to buyers and sellers. So it's, if you've been buying a property, you've had a survey done or whatever legal works you've done, you're still going to get charged, aren't you? And what they go on to say is that the appeal process offers little hope. So to compound the issue, the valuation appeals process is rarely successful to start again with that one, sorry. To compound the issue, the appeals process is rarely successful with LTO mortgage boss Stuart Phillips observing, after 6 years in the industry and witnessing countless appeals, I've never seen one overturned. So it seems like this, the lenders want them downvalued, and the system backs the lenders. It may be no coincidence that the growing gap between surveyors and agents' valuations has coincided with RICS Red Book updates. The new standard requires surveyors to assess environmental, social and governance factors for the first time. So they're looking at the environment, surrounding environment, the socio-economic factors, the demographic of the area, and governance factors for the first time, which is said to be making surveyors particularly cautious when assessing older properties. By older properties, you're talking about mostly the more properties built 1930s back to 1900s and further back. So that's the end of that article. Now I'm going to pause the video while I just get the other article up. Right, carrying on from that one, I've just loaded the other articles. This is from Property Eye, the Property Industry Eye, so all credit them, it's their article. I'm just going to use it to comment with. Now this one is about undervaluing of properties, so you can see the link here, but this is about AI valuations, and they reckon it says the title is AI valuation tools routinely undervaluing properties warn estate agents. So the estate agents are getting accused of overvaluing property, and now they're blaming AI valuations for undervaluing property. Okay, so 9 in 10 estate agents estimate that AI software known as automated valuation models, AVMs, are routinely undervaluing properties, and sellers could be losing tens of thousands of pounds as a result. A poll of 250 estate agents from the estate agency platform Alto revealed that 87% feel AI-powered valuation tools fail to reflect a home's true value. Some 78% of agents rely heavily on AI or automated valuation models, and remembering brokers are saying they're overvaluing, estate agents say they're undervaluing. When putting a price on a home, and as many as 23% claimed to always use them. Despite this, 73% admitted they do not even fully trust the tools they are using to make these calculations. Let's remember, AI is a fantastic tool, but it still needs a modicum of human supervision. It's learning all the time, and you need to be reviewing it all the time. So it's, there used to be a thing, garbage in, garbage out. So you put garbage into something, you're going to get garbage out. So it's learning from you. If you're putting the wrong information in, it's going to learn the wrong information. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but it's just an observation. When asked how much they typically adjust AVM generated valuations, nearly a third, 28%, reported changing the figure by £10,000 to £20,000. Now, is that the overvaluation coming in? Are the lenders using the same tools and they're going, well, actually, AI valuation says this, and the estate agent, no, they're wrong, it's more than that, because the estate agent is always going to value the property at what the vendor wants it valued at, to start with at least, and regularly amend valuations by more than £20,000. This suggests sellers could be losing out on tens of thousands of pounds simply because the original price was set using incomplete or generic data. Agents also raise concerns about regional fairness. Some 20% believe the tools tend to undervalue rural properties. 11% think they strongly undervalue northern or lower income areas. A spokesman for Alto said AI is encroaching more and more on so many areas of our lives, but housing valuations isn't one that usually springs to the front of people's minds. It is if you're a property investor, believe me. Agents are telling us AI undervaluing sellers' homes, and we should be listening. These tools can save time, provide a starting point, but they're not a substitute of local knowledge. I'd agree with that, yeah. The risk is that homes are priced based on flawed data and sellers lose out. Remembering the thing about garbage in, garbage out. We trust agents and we believe they should be empowered, not replaced. I think that's the thing. While AI is still learning, and I'm not saying it won't reach that point of singularity where it actually doesn't need a human, it's more intelligent in that field, but it's not there at the moment. Almost 8 in 10 agents think that technology is at least sometimes fails to account for key factors that influence a property's value. One area felt especially lacking was the algorithm's ability to detect added value to a house in areas such as recent renovation, unique features or conditions of the property. Other important elements often overlooked during evaluation were noise levels, crime rates, and economic conditions. Remembering that surveyors are now going to be looking more at the environment and socio-economic things for their surveying. The least accurate valuations were also found to occur in properties in rapidly changing markets. Rural locations and transitional neighbourhoods, areas that, my understanding, transitional neighbourhoods are areas sort of in between a good and, if you use the analogy, New York and the Bronx, in between, but also they're getting more and more investment in them. So, yeah, they're going slightly up market. That's my understanding. I might be wrong. Tell me in the comments. Agents have their own criticism of these helpers, that with top complaints centering around the lack of accuracy on evaluations, generally 23%, but especially when it comes to more unique properties, 32%. However, they also bemoaned the lack of the personal touch. Well, they're bound to, aren't they? And potential for outdated information, 20%, limited data sources, 18%, and algorithmic bias, so how the algorithm is set up. Almost 4 in 10, 37%, also believe themselves and their fellow agents are prone to overusing the technology because it speeds up productivity, and the emphasis is always on you can do more, you can do more, you can do more. So I'll leave that one there. But obviously there's a difference in opinion between mortgage brokers and estate agents. I want to go to a third article briefly. So briefly, just because I want to keep the video below 15 minutes so I can use it on LinkedIn. There's another article in Property Industry Eye, and it's about auctions, and it says sellers must be realistic in competitive market data shows.